Hi, everybody. Good Saturday morning to you, and welcome to VypeFortBend.com coverage of Fort Bend County High School sports. And we have a game in which the mighty Marshall Buffaloes are taking on the Houston Sharpstown Apollos. I'm Roger Smith here to bring you the action, where we feature the undefeated Buffs who are ranked in the top 5 no matter what poll you look in, whether it's a Class 5A Texas poll or a Class 5A Division II poll. It really doesn't matter. They've been to 2 state championship games in the last 3 years, and they have aspirations to go to the one in 2021. The Sharpstown Apollos are simply standing in the way. That's the situation, and we'll set things up for you on the Countdown to Kickoff show, which will be coming your way momentarily. Vype Fort Bend broadcast of Fort Bend County High School sports, including this game between Marshall and Sharpstown, are brought to you by Xfinity, the future of awesome, by First Tire and Automotive. Make sure your vehicles are in shape for October. First Tire and Automotive has 4 great locations, including First Colony, Greatwood, Katy Cinco Ranch, and on Eldridge Road in Sugar Land. All of those First Tire and Auto locations are open Monday through Saturday. For the best prices on tires, go to firsttireandauto.com. By Nick's Italian Restaurant on FM 1464 in Sugar Land, just a few hundred feet north of Austin High School. At Nick's Italian Restaurant, their family gets bigger every time you stop by. By Archer Volkswagen on the southbound side of Highway 59, just inside the Sam Houston Tollway, open since 1956 and ready to serve you. You'll feel like family at Archer Volkswagen. By the Needville Insurance Agency, Bradley Stavanaugh and his team are your hometown trusted agents. You know you got teenagers in your home, you got teenagers in your family, you got preteens who are going to be driving someday. The cost of car insurance is off the chart, but just remember this. We know Flo is funny. We know the gecko is cute, but you will not get the best rate for your insurance by talking to Flo or the gecko, and you won't find it in your mailbox either. You need to find it with the Needville Insurance Agency. Call 979-793-7411 or visit needvilleinsurance.com. You can do it all online. You don't necessarily have to talk to anyone. And Office Depot in Sugar Land, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace. They take care of business every day, so VypeFortBend.com can bring you Fort Bend County sports every week. Well, James Williams is the man with the keys to the bus, the guy who drives the Marshall football program, the head coach, and we will talk to him on the Countdown to Kickoff show. We'll be right back with that on VypeFortBend.com. Kickoff is coming at about 11 o'clock.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to the Countdown to Kickoff show. The Marshall Buffs taking on the Sharpstown Apollos in a district game. Good morning, James Williams. What kind of week of practice did you have?
Good morning. Glad to be on, as always. Had a good week. Practices are very important to us, so we go pretty hard in practice, and we had a good week. It's a Saturday game, so we had an extra day of practice this week, so we're happy where we're at right now and taking care of business.
And we've talked about this before, so I won't revisit it too much, but you want to make your practices probably more demanding, way more demanding than certain games are going to be, just so you'll have your team ready when the postseason comes along. And is there any particular ritual that you do during practice just to challenge everybody that you're willing to talk about?
Well, we go good on good. We go Marshall offense versus Marshall defense, and we go, full speed, good 2-hour practice, because it's a good thing and a bad thing. We haven't played a full game in a while, and, so they can get that condition, that speed, and that physical work during practice, and they understand the importance of it, and that's why we make a big deal out of it.
And one other thing I wanted to make a big deal out of, it's kind of old news. I guess it debuted a couple of weeks ago, but that program that Channel 11 did called The Program about Marshall Buffs football, I was really impressed. I mean, it was just awesome. Lots of different insights. I lost count of how many different people were interviewed for that thing, but as a film critic, what was your take?
I was very happy for it. Anything we can do to bring the great news to Marshall High School, we're for it. There's great kids here, great coaches, great administrators, great teachers, a great community. And so I was very honored to do the program. It was truly a blessing to do it, and to shine the light on these great kids that we have over here. And like you said, it was phenomenal. It was actually more than I thought it was going to be. It was really, really done well. We had a great time working with the crew for about 3 months, and we enjoyed it.
One thing that I'm proud of is at VypeFortBend.com, we've been saying what one of the main messages of the show was. It's not a matter of Marshall just having a bunch of really fast kids and taking a bag of footballs out there and finding a way to win games. You have discipline, you have structure, you have innovative ways of coaching, and we're just glad that somebody else is saying that, because people need to know that about your team.
Absolutely. I mean, you're not going to football games just with athletes running around. You got to have coaching well, you got to have some discipline, you got to have fundamentals, and that's things, again, we work on every day. Again, that's our practice, that's what we work on, and we can't have the success and continued success without that, so that's why we focus on it so much.
I want to give props to Daniel Gotera, Channel 11. He was asking me for some audio of a game. I didn't really know why he was asking, but I'm really glad that he did, and he just did a great job putting all that together. And let's just leave you with this thought. Every great video production deserves a sequel, and I'm thinking the sequel has to be when you capture the state championship.
I would love it. Let's start writing it right now. Let's put it in. We speak it to existence. It's going to happen. Yes, sir.
All right. That is James Williams. Always good to talk to you. Good luck today against Sharpstown, and I can't remember if we're going to be with you next week or not, but we'll be with you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right. We'll be back. Opening kickoff just a few minutes away. Sharpstown and Marshall on VypeFortBend.com. Our coverage brought to you by the Needville Insurance Agency, Nick's Italian Restaurant, Archer Volkswagen, Xfinity, the future of awesome, First Tire and Automotive.
How you doing?
And also the Office Depot in Sugar Land, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace. We appreciate our sponsors. They're the reason that it is always free to listen live or listen later on the podcast to VypeFortBend.com, your broadcast home for Fort Bend County High School sports. We'll be right back.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or NeedvilleInsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
First Tire and Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firsttireandauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Tire and Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firsttireandauto.com.
Good morning. Welcome back to Hall Stadium, and we've got Class 5A Division II football as Marshall is hosting Sharpstown. And here to introduce himself and the rest of our officiating crew is our referee.
Good morning from the Houston chapter. I'm your referee, Ronnie Baines. The umpire for today is Brian Nichols. Our head linesman is Josh Taylor. Line judge is Daryl Curry. Our back judge is Mark Holly. Side judge, Alvy Smith. And our field judge is Charles Cravens.
Thank you, Mr. Baines. Just an observation here. Your umpire, I think, is the biggest umpire I've ever seen. Is he kind of a bouncer if we need one?
He can bounce a few things, yes, sir. Yes, sir, he can.
All right. Oingo boingo. We'll be back with the opening kickoff. Marshall and Sharpstown on VypeFortBend.com.
Hey high schoolers, are you interested in a career in sports media? Vype can help. Launched in 2017, our Vype U Ambassador Program is a one-of-a-kind educational scholarship program that offers high school students a chance to gain hands-on experience in the sports media field. Vype U also gives students a platform to build their portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's seasoned professionals. From covering games to publishing photos, writing articles, and conducting on-camera interviews, each Vype U ambassador receives an immersive experience geared toward their interests, while promoting their own school and preparing them for their future. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out more about Vype U today.
We mean everything. We take care of you, so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
All right, welcome back to Hall Stadium. The Sharpstown Apollos are lined up along their sideline, but the Marshall Buffs in their black jerseys on this hot day, 79 degrees at kickoff here in Mo City. They're underneath their shaded inflatable tunnel with the big Buffalo football player on top. And they're making a bunch of noise that you could almost hear from up here on the upper concourse of Hall Stadium. So they're looking to go 6-0 and go 4-0 in District 11 5A class, or Division II, I should say. And here they come. We'll give you the starting lineups on offense for the Buffs. Don't know if they'll get the ball first or not. But at the Z receiver, it's Rundrick Dudley. Across the offensive front, it's a great offensive line. Anthony Chapman, Christian Williams, Demetrius Charles, Jerron Wallace, and Camden Williams. The X receiver is Jayon Johnson. Chris Marshall at the Y. He is the most talented of many talented receivers. And we're going to see Kavan Misher a lot too. The fullback and tight end, Jeffrey McWilliams. The feature running back is either Aaron McGowan or Jared Howard. Jacoby Banks starting at quarterback for your Marshall Buffs. They went to the Class 5A Division II state championship game in 2018, also in 2019. Did not get there last year, but they are certainly bent on making a return trip and likely will finish the season undefeated because they usually are heavy favorites and roll over their division or district opponents, I should say. And now they're going to come back to midfield and line up, and we'll hear the Star Spangled Banner. I think we have a moment here to give you the defensive starting lineup for these Marshall Buffs. At the defensive ends, Logan Granville and I'm going to start over. Defensive ends, Logan Granville and Godfrey Johnson. Lawrence Tillman and Corell Harris are the defensive tackles. The Mike linebacker, Caleb Cossey. Jordan Sample at the will linebacker. The nickelback is A.J. Halsey. The cornerbacks, Mike Patterson and Chris Stevens. And the safeties, Jacoby Strong-White and Jacoby Chester. There's also a middle school squad lining up alongside the Marshall team on their sideline. And soon we will have the presentation of the colors and the Star Spangled Banner. This is VypeFortBend.com. We'll kick it off in just a few minutes. All right, time for the captains to go out to the center of the field and let us know who is going to get the football first. On a sultry 79-degree day in Missouri City Hall Stadium, the Marshall Buffs will be wearing their black home jerseys with the white numerals, double gold striping on both shoulders, and the white pants with the black and gold stripes down the side. They've got the bright gold helmets with the large black capital M, and within that letter M is block, because everywhere they play is M block. They take over the place. And the Sharpstown Apollos, one of those teams that has a pretty proud history, but they have fallen on hard times recently. They are wearing their bright green pants with the gold stripe on either side, white jerseys with dark green numerals, the green helmets with the yellow stripe down the middle, and the Apollo logo on either side. So it was a great name to give to a new high school way back when they started, because of all those Apollo moon missions. So going out there as captains for your Marshall Buffs, we got Abel Gonzalez, Kavan Misher, Logan Granville, and Chris Stevens. And Chris Stevens' family, I think, is very, very close to me up here. They're sitting in the highest part of Hall Stadium, hoping that the shade will be making them a little more comfortable very soon. So on offense, when the Buffs have the ball, they have put together a lot of one-play scoring drives against teams that just can't keep up with their strength and their speed. That's been happening a lot lately, and it may happen a lot today, just so you are warned. Looks like Marshall won the toss, and they will receive the ball at the north end of the field. Their quarterback, Jacoby Banks, is 33 completions in 50 attempts this year. That's 66%. He averages 24.2 yards per completion, and he's thrown 15 touchdown passes and only 2 interceptions. When the Buffs run the football, well, the leading rusher is Jacoby Banks. 16 yards per carry, 448 total on the year, and he has 7 touchdowns. Aaron McGowan has 3 touchdowns and an average per carry of 16 and 4/10 yards. And I don't know if this is a coincidence or a misprint or what, but Rundrick Dudley also has the exact same yards per carry average as McGowan, 16.4. He has 1 touchdown, McGowan has 3. And there are plenty of other guys that practice hard and don't often get a chance to run the football or catch the football, but I think there's a good chance that we'll see them on the field today. So it's a pretty comfortable temperature if you're just sitting here and watching a football game, but, well, I'll tell you what, it's not going to feel very good after a while when you're wearing an entire football suit. All right, Sharpstown ready to kick off. And I believe I see as their kicker, Kenneth Zamora. But I can't say that for sure. And the kick is a short one. And it's taken at the 35-yard line. Chris Marshall cuts toward the middle of the field, twisting, turning, and gets a return of about 7 yards. And that'll set up Marshall at their own 42-yard line. We already gave you the lineups, and we told you what Jacoby Banks has done when he's throwing the football this year, but Marshall does not usually have to throw it all that often. Kevon Misher had a huge day the last time we broadcasted one of the Marshall games when they beat Northside by a score of 72-0. Misher caught 3 touchdown passes that day, and we'll start with trips, a pair of receivers on either side, and Banks dropping back to throw on first down. Down the far sideline looking for, let's see, who was that? Okay, I'm sorry that I did not really get a good view of it. But it's Jaden Johnson who was the intended receiver, or was it? I don't even think it was Jaden Johnson. He's supposed to be number 7. Okay, it is Jaden Johnson. Man, I fumbled the kickoff here. I promise to do better on subsequent plays. Banks has a running back next to him in the backfield. That is McGowan, and they give him the football, and up the middle he goes. And he twists and turns and gets about 5 yards on the play. The Apollo's Jonathan Odom made the tackle. Give him a gain of 6, not 5, and it's 3rd down and 4. So the Buffs get the plays from the sideline. And here we go on 3rd down and 4. There goes McGowan to the left, gets to the numbers, turns it up near the sideline and runs over a tackler right as he goes out of bounds, gets it to the 38-yard line, and that is a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. So on the 3rd play of the drive, it's a 14-yard pickup for Aaron McGowan over the left side. Banks in the spread with 3 receivers on his right, but he rolls to the left, now throws it back to the right to Chris Marshall. Between the hash marks, there he goes. He is gone! Right up the middle on the jailbreak screen, and there was no jailer there. And it's a touchdown from 38 yards away, no flags, and the Buffs are on top. Well, that did not take long at all. So that is an Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive for the Marshall Buffs. It covers 58 yards in 4 plays, and it only took 1 minute and 10 seconds, capped off by a 38-yard touchdown pass to Chris Marshall. And Chris could have hopped on 1 foot and made it to the end zone there. The extra point kick is up, and it's good by Miguel Diaz. And we're 1 minute and 16 seconds into this game, and the Buffs have a lead, 7-0 here on VypeFortBend.com. We'll be right back.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Miguel Diaz now 37 out of 44 on his extra point kicks. And it won't be him that's doing the kicking off. It's Andreas Phillips Purvis teeing it up at the 40-yard line. So Marshall, unlike the last time we broadcasted one of their early Saturday games, they didn't score on 1 play, but they did score pretty quickly. Phillips Purvis with a short kickoff, and it is caught. And the return man just goes down right there where he is, and that's pretty decent field position for the Sharpstown Apollos. Christian Tabora Matute made that catch. And I know that what Sharpstown would probably like to do as much as anything is just keep some long drives. They know they're not going to score on every drive. In fact, with the way the Marshall defense has been playing lately, they may not score at all. But what they would like to do is make it hard for Marshall to pile up the points. The receiver over here on the near side, I believe, is Cephas Ayafonuin. And running to the right on the first play, it's a quarterback sweep, and it's going to be a good gain, a gain of 12 yards, as it was Jakai Roan. And I guess that's their version of the Wildcat, and that moves the sticks. It's a first down for the Sharpstown Apollos. And the Apollos, of course, will huddle. They'll take their time. And it looks like it's going to be Roan taking the direct snap. It's basically an empty backfield. 3 receivers on his left, and now he runs between the tackles just over the left guard, and that's a short pickup, just 1 yard on the play. And for the Buffs, Lawrence Tillman filled the hole and made the stop. Second down and 11. Later tonight, 5:45 with a countdown to kickoff show, and we will bring you Hightower taking on Angleton. Angleton undefeated on the season, and Hightower looking pretty good. They've lost only once, and that was to Westfield, and a lot of people lose to Westfield. In fact, Westfield beat their crosstown rivals Spring last night, so they've beaten Spring and they've beaten North Shore. It's a good thing they're in Region 2. Second down and 9 for the Apollos. Roan hands it off inside, right up the middle, and it's a pickup of maybe 1. I think that's all it's going to be. Lucky Boy Collins. I love saying that guy's name, Lucky Boy Collins. Well, he doesn't look so lucky here as he gets up slowly. No, that's one of his linemen. Theophil Sabimana was the offensive lineman for the Apollos, and he got up okay. He's going to be fine. He goes back to the huddle. And after that 1 yard pickup, it is now third down and 8 for the Sharpstown Apollos. I don't think Roan is the one at quarterback right now. I think that's Cephas Ayafunin. Running to the right, it is not Cephas. Instead, it is Kashala Kapiyamba. And Kapiyamba is thrown for a loss of 5 yards, as that Buffalo defense was all over him. Logan Granville, coming from his left defensive end spot, was able to get the contain and get the tackle for loss, and the Apollos will punt it away. The line of scrimmage is their own 44, so they made 1 first down on their first play. They gained 13 yards on that one. But after that, the Buffs defense started clamping down. Chris Marshall back to return the punt for the Buffs. It's a high snap, but it's successful. And the ball bounces in front of Marshall. He fields it on a hop at his 25. Heads to the right. Running up the numbers on the near side. Looking to make a move. Gets a block. Still inside the boundary and goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line of these Sharpstown Apollos. That's a 37-yard punt return by Chris Marshall, who has the only touchdown scored thus far for the Buffs. It is a bright, sunshiny day. Kind of hard to read the numbers on the scoreboard, but I believe we've got 7:44 to go in quarter number 1. And the Buffs have it at the Sharpstown 38. Banks fakes it to Jai-Adrian Wortham, keeps it, goes outside the numbers on the far side, down the sideline. There he goes, and he stays in bounds and goes all the way for the touchdown. The second consecutive 38-yard touchdown drive for the Marshall Buffs, but that one is an Archer Volkswagen scoring drive of 38 yards, but it takes place in one play, and it required 13 seconds. So that's what we're used to seeing from these Marshall Buffs in their district games. On comes Diaz to try and add the extra point out of the hold of Jordan Davis, the backup quarterback for these Buffs. The kick is up, and the kick is good. It is 14-0 Marshall. We're just 4.5 minutes into this game, and you're listening to VypeFortBend.com. We'll be back.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstireauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstireauto.com.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, Office Max, and OfficeDepot.com.
Diaz did not kick off after the first Marshall touchdown, but he's kicking off now. Gets the signal from the official and boots it a little bit to the right, and it's Ayafunin who's running straight ahead and runs into nothing but a bunch of black jerseys, angry Marshall Buffaloes, and he returns it only to the 20, but a flag comes in. I don't know what this is going to be. You know, typically you say that on a kickoff return, the penalty is likely to be against the return team, but I'm not so sure on this one. It's a face mask, and it's against the Buffs. And the reason I didn't think it would be against Sharpstown is because, well, there was no one from Sharpstown there except Ayafunin, who was trying to return the kick. He was completely surrounded by Buffs tacklers, and one of them inadvertently grabbed his face mask. But this is not the old days when if it was judged to be inadvertent, it was just a 5-yard penalty, and it was 15 if the official thought you did it on purpose. It's 15 no matter what, for the sake of safety. So the ball is at the 35-yard line, and Sharpstown will go to work again on offense. They had one possession where they made one first down, and then after that, they punted from the 35. Here's the give to Lucky Boy Collins, and he picks up a yard before he is thrown back. On the tackle for your Buffs, Jordan Sample. Those of you who like ancient NFL history, and I guess ancient is going back to the 60s, there was a guy named Johnny Sample who was a cornerback for the New York Jets when they won Super Bowl III. And back then, there really wasn't a lot of outspokenness by athletes except Cassius Clay, later known as Muhammad Ali, had kind of come on the scene and started to be brash and tell everybody how good he was. And the Jets did that with Joe Namath, but Joe Namath, the more famous player, but Johnny Sample, he certainly did a lot of talking on his own. 2nd down and 9. And a throw out into the left flat. Catch made, but it's going to be a short gain of 3 yards to number 3, Jaqueline Williams. He jumped up in the air to make that catch, and as he came down, he was getting roughed up by the Marshall Buffs. The first one that got there was Jacoby Chester, the right cornerback. And they ruled that it was just a gain of 1 yard. It looked like maybe he was a couple or 3 yards down the field. But that leaves Sharpstown with a 3rd down and 8. We are halfway through quarter number 1, and the clock ticking. The Marshall Buffs trying to go 6-0 and 4-0 on the season. You know, a lot of people wonder, couldn't the Buffs play some tougher non-district opponents? Well, it's kind of hard to find people willing to play them. 3rd down and 8. There goes Ayafunin. He's going to throw it toward the sideline, but it's an interception by the Buffs, or is it? No, it's incomplete. It slipped out of the hands of Jacoby Chester, who had sprinted all the way from the defensive right side of the field over to the left. As the quarterback Ayafunin rolled to his right, He almost got himself an interception, but you know what? That leaves the potential for Chris Marshall to run back a punt. Five and a half minutes on the first quarter clock. You're listening to VypeFortBend.com. We are in week 6. This is your Saturday matinee. Sharpstown Apollos against Marshall. They rushed the punt and they hit the punter. It's kind of a bad punt, but he did well just to get rid of it. And there's a flag that comes in late. And I think we're going to get roughing the kicker. Kenneth Zamora, the sophomore, punting it away for the Sharpstown Apollos. And on the snap, the ball looked like it had helium in it. It took forever to get back there to him. You knew the Buffs were going to put pressure on him, but they didn't make contact with the football. They only made contact with him. And Ronnie Baines, our official. What? It was, gentlemen, did I hear right? A penalty against Marshall that would have given the Apollos the first down, but they declined it to give the ball back to Marshall. This is bizarro world. You know, I guess it was 3 weeks ago tonight, C.E. King was playing Ridgepoint. I saw C.E. King's deep snapper snap it when the punter wasn't back there. He didn't look back between his feet to see that there was someone to snap it to. He just snapped it. And Ryan Ramey scooped it up and scored for Ridgepoint. Okay, back to the action. From the 50-yard line, it is Banks. Throws it on a jailbreak screen. This is Misher finding running room outside the number. Still going, stumbling, and he's going to go all the way. Kevon Misher. It's another one-play scoring drive. It goes 50 yards. That Archer Volkswagen scoring drive took 7 seconds. No, it took longer than that. It took 11 seconds. And Kevon Misher takes it to the house from 50 yards away. That is the second one-play scoring drive that the Marshall Buffs have had today. And the score is already getting out of hand. It is 20-0. And Diaz will come on and try to add the extra point. And Diaz's kick is up, and it's good. We'll take another break. We knew we were going to be taking a lot of them today. And this is our new score, 21-0, Marshall over Sharpstown on VypeFortBend.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Hi, this is Mariela and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Aya Funin runs the kickoff back for Sharpstown, and he gets to the 25-yard line, where with exactly 5 minutes to go in quarter number one, the Apollos will try to get something going, trailing 21-0. We've had two one-play scoring drives. Kevon Misher's 50-yard touchdown catch was one of those. Jacoby Banks ran it in from 38 yards away on the possession before that, and on the Buffs' initial possession, it was a 38-yard touchdown catch for Chris Marshall. They mark it at the 27. And up the middle goes Lucky Boy Collins. And it's a gain of only one. Getting up off the bottom of the pile for your Buffs is Jordan Sample. Second down and 9. We have quite a few puffy clouds overhead. During pregame warm-ups, I joked with Coach Williams, I saw blue sky straight overhead and clouds in all the other directions. I said, Almighty God parted the clouds so he could watch his favorite high school football team play. Second down and 9 for the Apollos. Direct snap to Ayafunin, fakes it, tries to get around the corner, and there are Buffs waiting there. Jacoby Chester is one of them, and the other one is Jordan Sample. Sample, I'm not trying to make a big star out of him today, but he is making a lot of tackles early on, and that is a tackle for a loss of 1. Ball is back at the 27, the original line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 10. Cephas Ayafunin has his team huddled around him. They look to the sideline. They get the play call, but they're just now calling the play to the players, with 10 seconds on the play clock, and now it's ticking down. They're lining up 4, 3, 2, 1, and they get it snapped. Blitz look, and it's going to be a tackle for loss. Tillman got through on a well-timed blitz, and did the ball come out? The Buffs say it did. Yes, it did. It's a fumble recovery for your Marshall Buffs. And I think it was Logan Granville who got it. All right, so mayday, mayday. It's time to abort the Apollo mission. It is 21-0, and now the Buffs have it again, 26 yards away from the goal line. Adrian Wortham comes in as the running back, standing next to Jacoby Banks. Kind of a bunch formation for the Buffs. They don't usually line up this way, but everybody is inside the hash marks. 2 receivers on either side, but they're lined up very tight. Banks drops back, fires for Marshall. End zone, touchdown. Like taking candy from a baby. And Marshall gets the touchdown to make it 27-0. And that Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive covers one play, 26 yards, capped off on the Banks throw to Marshall for the touchdown, and it only took 9 seconds. And Miguel Diaz, who may need some 3-in-1 oil for his swinging kicking leg, comes on to kick the extra point. And Jordan Davis to hold, and I believe the deep snapper for the Buffs is Robert Lopez. Good snap and hold, and the Diaz kick is good. 28-0 is our score. This one didn't start quite as quickly as the onslaught against Northside a couple of Saturdays ago, but it's I think it's gotten even worse for the visiting team in a shorter time. We'll be back on VypeFortBend.com, 28-0 Buffs.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or NeedvilleInsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, Office Max, and OfficeDepot.com.
Okay, I think our little commercial player might have messed up. I didn't realize it had stopped talking. So we'll attend to that at the next break. So the kickoff return for the Apollos goes back to the 28-yard line. And are we going to have a penalty on the kickoff return? I believe we're going to have holding. Or maybe the holding that the fans saw was not one that the officials saw. So I guess there will be no penalty assessed on that kickoff return. Ball at the 28-yard line for the Sharpstown Apollos with 2:54 to go. In quarter number 1, it is already 28-0 Marshall. Chris Marshall has caught 2 touchdown passes, one from 26 yards, one from 38 yards. He has 8 touchdowns on the year now. Iafunin turns around and hands it off to Lucky Boy Collins, who runs heavy. He's a load, tries the right side, but there's just no running room whatsoever. And he's dropped for no gain. Kyle Boutte on the tackle for your Marshall Buffs. I just happened to watch High School Scoreboard live, and I see that Aledo is idle. And I mention Aledo because when the Buffs have made it to the state championship game in Class 5A Division II in 2018 and in 2019, each time the Aledo team was waiting for them there. And credit to them, they are just so dang good. It's sickening. But it is time for the Buffs to go up there and win a state championship, whether it's Aledo as the opponent or someone else. All right, second down. Lucky Boy Collins next to Iafunin in the spread formation. And it's a keeper by Iafunin. He's hit in the backfield and dropped. The ball came out late. I think the play was dead. But it is a tackle for loss by Joshua Lair. And I believe the Joshua Lair family is over here to my left. Let's hear it for Joshua Lair. All right, I was wondering if I had seen him on the roster before, and maybe I had not. So we're ticking down. We're under a minute and a half to go in quarter number 1. So with less than 2 minutes to go in quarter number 1, Joshua Lair makes a tackle for loss for the Marshall Buffs. And I don't see him on the depth chart, so I think this is maybe his first varsity action. I may be wrong about that. Third down and 13. High snap. Iafunin has to jump so high just to get the ball that he loses his balance when he comes back down. So that's going to be another loss. And it's going to be 4th down and 17 for the Apollos. In the final minute of quarter number 1, and Chris Marshall, who's already caught 2 touchdown passes today, goes back in deep safety on punt formation. Kenneth Zamora ready to punt it away. High snap, here comes the rush, and it is blocked. Marshall sees the bug on the rug, and they pick it up, and it's a lateral. And they have the football. Still going is number 32, and he's thrown out of bounds at the 12-yard line. And a late flag. I have no idea what it's for, but it's somebody near the Marshall bench possibly said something. I don't know, maybe came out on the field or something. But after that blocked punt, and I apologize, I didn't see who got it, but Jared Howard scooped it up, but he couldn't find running room. I have a feeling this is going to be a post-possession foul. In other words, the Buffs might get penalized, but they're not going to lose possession because it came after the ball had been scooped up by Howard. Okay, so you heard Ronnie Baines, the referee, say sideline warning. And so, yes, it's a sideline warning, but usually a penalty flag doesn't come out when it's a warning. Usually they just say the warning verbally, and then they throw the flag next time if you do it again. But no worries. 12-yard line for the Marshall Buffs. And we had the center coming out, Abel Gonzalez, and he brought a football with him. But they already had a football on the field, so he threw it back. On the left hash mark, 12 yards away from yet another touchdown. The Buffs put 3 receivers in tight on the right side of the formation. Banks hands it off. Jai Adrian Wortham over the right side, hardly touched into the end zone for a touchdown. And they keep the clock running, and I think it's a good idea. We may run out of first quarter before we run another offensive snap following the kickoff. So 34-0 is the score after that 12-yard touchdown run by Jai Adrian Wortham. We'll go ahead and take our break and be back. I'll bet. I'm foreseeing the future. I think it's going to be 35-0 when we return on VypeFortBend.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstironauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstironauto.com.
Diaz hit the extra point, and it is 35-0 Marshall Buffs. As we start quarter number 2, the Buffs will be defending the south end zone here at Hall Stadium. And there's no wind whatsoever inside Hall Stadium to make a difference to help Sharpstown out. The Buffs might have lost a little bit of concentration. They lined up on the 30, not the 35. Now there's the kick by Phillips Purvis, who's back on. Fair catch called for, and the ball taken at the 20-yard line. And I don't think that's according to the letter of the law there, because if you call a fair catch but you let it hit the ground, you have to run it back. Or you'd have to down it, take a knee right there. But the officials mercifully just said, we'll just let them take it at the 25 because they did call a fair catch, or they're actually going to put it at the 20 where the ball was received and where the ball carrier was when the whistle blew. You know, you think about the Marshall Buffs and their quest for a state championship, there are several things you might want to think of as redemption. Of course, they want to beat Aledo. And because they're in Region 3, they being the Buffs, and now they move the ball from the 20 to the 25. So the Buffs are in Region 3 of Class 5A Division 2, and Aledo is in Region 2 of Class 5A Division 2. So the only way that they can face each other in the postseason is in the state championship game. Iafunin gives it off to Lucky Boy Collins, heads left, then heads right, then fights his way back to the line of scrimmage and gets a 3-yard gain out of it. I'm really impressed with what he did on that play. That was Kyle Boutte who finally made the tackle, but Lucky Boy Collins, whose team is getting its butt kicked, was not going to quit on that play. He gave his all. And I'll bet, based on what I just saw, he gives his all the way down to the final play today, no matter how hopeless things may seem for the Apollos. 3-yard pickup, and what a run by Lucky Boy Collins. He is still the setback next to his buddy Cephas Iafunin, the quarterback. Iafunin, the quarterback, fakes the handoff. He's got to keep it. I think he wanted Collins to take it, and then he went to his left, got knocked down, and his helmet came off after a 3-yard loss, and he's staying down. Uh-oh. Now Lucky Boy Collins goes over there to see how Cephas is doing. Cephas is hurting right now, and hopefully he'll be okay, but even if he did get immediately to his feet, what we know is that by rule you have to sit out a play. So it'll be 3rd down upcoming and 12 yards to go after a 5-yard loss. And we'll see what the Apollos do, and we'll see if maybe Cephas Iafunin can walk off the field on his own power. We'll be back on VypeFortBend.com.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Very good news. Cephas Ayafunin got to his feet and walked off the field. It looks like he's okay and will probably be back. So they bring in Roan again, who took the first snap or two for the Apollos on 3rd down and 12. And he hands it off up the middle. A heavy running back, Faisal Kuldiati, runs it straight ahead and doesn't get much, so it will be a punting situation. And the Apollos will bring their punter out, and this time it's not Chris Marshall who is back to return it. Instead, it is number 14, Terrence Fontenot. I believe last year Jacoby Banks wore number 14 for Marshall, but now that he's QB1, he wears number 1, and Fontenot wears number 14. Zamora to punt. No pressure on him this time. Gets it away. Angled toward the far sideline. Gets a pretty good roll. Gets it inside the Marshall 40, and it's spotted at the 39-yard line. 36-yard punt with no return for Zamora of the Apollos. So for your Buffs, we've had Chris Marshall score 2 touchdowns. Jyadrian Wortham scored 1 on a 12-yard run. That was the latest one. Kavan Misher with a little jailbreak screen that he turned into a 50-yard touchdown. And Jacoby Banks ran one in from 38 yards away. And it looks like our referee, Ronnie Baines, is hurting. He went down after that punt was in the air. I didn't see what happened to him, but he is favoring his right foot or right leg. And he's making his way all the way back from where the ball was punted to where it rolled out of bounds. Marshall ball at their 39-yard line. Ball on the right hash as the Buffs stampede from right to left on your web radio dial. Marshall in motion. They fake it to him on the jet sweep, straight up the middle. McGowan almost breaks a tackle and gets a 5-yard pickup out of it. Nice job coming up out of the secondary. Wesley Robinson, the cornerback, brought him down. And McGowan getting up a little bit slowly after that tackle. Rundrick Dudley is number 3, and I'm wondering, is he going to come in and maybe spell Aaron McGowan? Well, not for this play anyway. 2nd down and 5. Ball at the 44. Fake jet sweep up the middle. McGowan off the left side this time. Big yards. 40, 35, 30. Makes one more cut. He's gone. Aaron McGowan goes all the way for a touchdown. 56 yards. Wow, how about that? So that's the 6th touchdown for Marshall, and 5 different Buffs have scored. So there's not a single one of the Buffs' touchdowns that have come from a single-digit yard line. They've all been double digits. And hold on just a second before Diaz can kick the extra point. We have a conversation going on between head coach James Williams and Ronnie Baines, the referee. Now, Baines had not signaled that the ball was ready for play. So nothing has changed, except it'll just be a little bit later that Diaz puts the extra point kick up and good. And I'm looking at the second quarter clock. I think maybe it's saying that we only have 1 minute and 8 seconds to go in quarter number 2. And if that is the case, I better tell you that our halftime interview is with Bill Moore of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Fellowship of Christian Athletes is an awesome organization, but they, like so many of us, had to do things way differently starting back in March 2020. But we're going to talk to Bill Moore about, well, for those of you who don't know anything about Fellowship of Christian Athletes, I think you certainly would want to know. It's very worthwhile for athletes, but not necessarily just athletes. I mean, any high school student can get together as an organization with coaches and huddle leaders who just try to give people more meaning in their life through learning about God and studying the Bible. So I believe, without me noticing, they started that running clock. And now the score is 42-0 after that 56-yard McGowan touchdown run. And so halftime is coming up here pretty quickly. Diaz ready to kick, and he kicks it straight down the middle. Starting on the left hash mark. And there's a very enthusiastic return and a fumble. The ball got loose, bug on the rug, and Sharpstown keeps it. That's Kashala Kapiyamba who ran it back, and he ran it back with great enthusiasm. He's still playing hard, even though the scoreboard is very lopsided in the favor of the Marshall Buffs. So he ran it back to the 32. I think that is the second best field position that Sharpstown has had. And I'm still looking at the scoreboard. I can't tell if it's 1 minute and something or 7 minutes and something. Probably 1. So I guess that means I should get Mr. Bill Moore to come on over here. Here he is. So the Apollo's on the attack again. It is Roan taking the direct snap, and he's thrown for a loss of 2. The Marshall Buffs defense just all over every play. Ryan Simpson, the sophomore, comes up from his linebacker spot. And you know, Xfinity is the future of awesome, and we think that the man who made the tackle on that last play, Ryan Simpson, has an awesome future as a sophomore for the Buffs. You see a lot of umbrellas in the stands today. There are clouds overhead to block the sun a little, but it's still pretty warm. Okay, so we're not running clock fast just yet. We still have more than 6 minutes left in the first half. There is Roan trying the middle, and as soon as he takes a step forward, he finds a tackler and twists and turns and tries to get something out of it. He got back to the original line of scrimmage, which is the 32. So it'll be 3rd and 10. And Ayafunin, he wasn't the starting quarterback per se, but he has taken most of the snaps, but he was injured on the previous Apollo's possession. And he has not returned to the offensive unit. So it looks like it'll be Roan, at least for the time being. Apollo's got 13 yards on their first play from scrimmage, but since then it's been very, very tough going. Roan hands it off to Collins, trying the middle. He's a tough runner, and he picked up 3 or 4, but nowhere near what they needed for the first down, and I presume we're going to see Zamora in the punting unit come out for Sharpstown. By the way, next week, we've got volleyball on Tuesday night, Fulshear against Kempner. Then on Thursday, Elkins taking on Clements. 5:45 countdown to kickoff show right here at Hall Stadium. Then on Friday, Dulles against Ridgepoint. The Vikings had a good start in the pre-district schedule, but they've lost their first 2 district games. They're desperate, and Ridgepoint is leading the pack at 2-0. Then on Saturday, another doubleheader in the morning, Terry against Kempner. And then at 6 o'clock, Travis against Bush. Zamora gets the punt away. And it's a quick tackle immediately. As soon as Terrence Fontenot caught it, he was wrestled down. And let's give credit where it's due. Not only a good kick returner, but Kashala Kapiamba is a pretty good punt coverage guy. So the Marshall Buffs take over at their own 40, leading 42-0 with 4 minutes and 26 seconds to go in quarter number 2. And Jacoby Banks going back out there as quarterback. Jai Adrian Wortham is the feature running back. There were 4 receivers on the left side of the formation, but now Jeffrey McWilliams realizes they want him to line up on the right side as a tight end. And here we go. Banks drops back, stands strong, plenty of time. Now flush to the right. Now he's going to keep it. 50, flag down. 45 makes a move, still going. 35 shakes another tackler and takes it to the 32, but I think this is going to come back. Probably holding, maybe an illegal block on one of the Buffs. So I guess the penalty was not against the Buffs, or if it was, maybe in this bizarro world where the Apollos, they declined a penalty for a personal foul roughing the kicker that would have allowed them to keep the ball. Okay, well, it was. I didn't want to think about that anymore. I can't get my brain wrapped around it. So we'll just move ahead to the present moment. It's Buffs' ball at the 32, whatever the penalty was. It might have been against the Apollos, and it might have been declined by the Buffs. This the second play of the drive. Banks rolls to his left, throws back to his right, got a completion, 25-yard line, 20, and this will be an easy touchdown for the Buffs. Sauntering into the end zone is Jaden Johnson. Okay, so that's 7 different touchdowns for the Marshall Buffs and 6 different Buffalo players who have actually scored the touchdowns. Pretty impressive. I guess everybody is getting a piece of the pie today. And Diaz on to add the extra point, and if it's good, it'll be 49-0 with 3:20 to go in quarter number 2. And I notice now that they are running the clock. The Diaz kick is up, and the Diaz kick is good. We'll take a break. This is VypeFortBend.com.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stabenow with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Andreas Phillips Purvis to kick off for the Buffs. And he angles it to the left, and it bounces a couple of times where it is picked up by Jaqueline Williams. He runs to the far side of the field. He's got something outside the numbers. Gets to the 35 and runs out at the 37. Chased out by Ronald Beasley. And the clock continues to tick mercifully. 49-0 Marshall on top of Sharpstown. And I don't know if halftime is going to be the usual duration of 28 minutes. But if it's not, we're still going to make sure that we bring you the entire interview with Bill Moore of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So we will have that interview in its entirety. Whether they start playing football again before the interview is concluded. because, well, like they said in the Blues Brothers, we're on a mission from God. Two receivers in the slot on the near side. Lucky Boy Collins up the middle. He's had a rough day, but you know he's dealt a few blows himself. He's a tough runner. Logan Granville leading the charge for the Marshall Buffs along with Tillman. Also in on that tackle was Trent Thomas, and it's no gain. 2nd down and 10. We're in the final minute. So if you don't know anything about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, well, here's your opportunity. You're going to hear about it when we talk to Bill Moore during halftime. I'm not sure what the delay is here, but the clock continues ticking down, and the Apollos don't have to run a play. And that's going to do it for quarter number 2. 49-0 is our score. I was waiting for that little sound so that I could prove to you. Yeah, that's what the scoreboard does when we run out of time. He'll step aside and be back and have Bill Moore. He's a great man. I think you'll be interested in what he has to say. We'll return.
Everything. We take care of you so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
Interested in Vype Campus? Vype Campus brings our popular citywide media days right to your doorstep. As a Vype Campus client, we will work with you to help you take advantage of our unique campus model to build a unique experience for your school. From media day photo shoots of all your athletes to game day coverage, broadcasts and live streams, video and digital content, hype videos, the Vype U program, same-day graphics, and of course your very own campus magazine, Vype Campus is truly whatever you want it to be. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out how to join Vype Campus today.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstironauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstironauto.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
You're listening to VypeFortBend.com. It's halftime. Glad you're with us, and our score is Marshall 49 and Sharpstown 0. And it is great to be joined on this august occasion at halftime by Bill Moore of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. It's good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Roger, doing great. I appreciate the opportunity of being here, and I appreciate all what y'all do.
The thing about Fellowship of Christian Athletes, I'm very familiar with it. And a lot of people are too, but we know that maybe some people are not. So I don't want to assume things. So what is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and what does it look like on the high school campuses?
Roger, FCA is a national sports ministry. Actually, we're worldwide. We have presence in over 100 countries now. Our headquarters are in Kansas City. FCA was founded in 1954. And we're the largest sports ministry in the world. And our main method of ministry is to and through the coach. As you're well aware of, a coach has influence on the school campus. And so we minister to and through the coach, impact them, and they in turn impact the student athletes. Also, FCA, we have huddles on the local campuses at the junior high, high school, and college campuses. We call them huddles using some athletic terminology, so instead of a club, it's an FCA huddle. The FCA huddles are student-led, and legally that's what gives us the right to meet on the public school campuses because it's a student-led organization. The coach or the sponsor who facilitates that is actually, that's what it is a facilitator. He keeps the kids in bound. But we have tons of resources available for the FCA huddle meetings. And normally the huddles meet once a week or at least every other week at the junior high and high school levels.
I know that there's something you want students and their families to know, and that is you don't have to be an active church member to be a part of Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And now's when I'm going to go into the Wayback Machine. I hope people don't mind. The first thing I remember seeing as far as something published by Fellowship of Christian Athletes was this comic book about the life of Tom Landry, who was the Cowboys head coach for the first 29 years of the franchise. And he didn't have a relationship with God when he was in college and when he had started playing professional football, and not even back when he was in the cockpit of fighter planes during World War II. But someone, a teammate, invited him to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And in Tom Landry's very public life, he's very close with the well-known minister, the late Billy Graham. Mm-hmm. And so that became Tom Landry's mission in life, other than winning football games, was to kind of share the message of the gospel. So any other folks like that maybe late in life joined FCA?
Tom Landry was a stalwart with FCA. As a matter of fact, he was on our National Board of Trustees for years, and I had the opportunity to meet him years ago. When I graduated from Baylor, I went on staff with FCA for 2 years in Dallas. And actually, he was chairman of the leadership board in Dallas, and what a magnificent, God-fearing man Tom Landry was. But you look at all the coaches throughout the years that have made impact in people's lives, like my coach at Baylor, Grant Taft, huge impact in my life. My high school coach, Ron Mills, made a huge impact in my life. And so you're right, the FCA is a gathering of students, and actually you don't even have to be an athlete to come to an FCA meeting. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes, as a staff person, my main focus is to minister to and through the coach and the athlete. But several people come to FCA, they're not even involved in sports, and we welcome that.
We're talking with Bill Moore of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and he is the president, I guess, of the chapter that covers Fort Bend County in the southwest part of Houston. And is this something that you are compensated for doing, or is it just a labor of love?
Well, no, this is actually a paid position. I do not treat working with FCA as a job. If I treated it as a job, my ministry would not be effective. This is a calling. I have a leadership board of men and women that we meet monthly, and so it's a faith-based ministry. So I have to raise my own support. And honestly, at times, you're scratching your head with the support's coming in, but God is faithful, and I've never missed a paycheck, and God provides the resources available for that, plus extra resources where we can get Bibles, devotional material out to the coaches and the athletes.
I'm familiar with the kind of circumstances that you're dealing with. Athletic directors and coaches and athletes had to change the play at the line of scrimmage, so to speak, just to get all those games played and those championships decided last year. Hopefully this will be a normal year. We'll talk more about what a huddle has become, at least what we've had to make it hopefully temporarily over the last few months when we've had this thing to deal with. So we'll be right back on VypeFortBend.com, visiting with Bill Moore of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina, coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
We're back on VypeFortBend.com. More halftime coming at you with Bill Moore, our guest. Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the trademark way of getting together and learning and studying and devoting some time to God is the huddle. And that's figurative and literal. But in what ways were you restricted when it came to having huddles going all the way back to March 20th and the way things were during this previous school year, 2020-2021?
Well, Roger, COVID put a dent into our ministry plans. So we had to adapt. In all reality, this past school year, I did not step foot on a school campus to an FCA huddle meeting.
Wow, that makes it very hard for you to do what you need to do.
Because the huddle meetings didn't occur, because you couldn't get into the campus and everything was restricted and locked down. But the good news is we found ways to minister. I've talked and focused with the coaches who are the sponsors. Many of the huddle meetings were held via Zoom. I sat in on several Zoom FCA huddle meetings, and so that occurred. From our ministry impact, I was able to still get in to see coaches here in Fort Bend School District because the field houses are separate from the main school building. So I was able to get in at least to be able to minister to and through the coach. I went on a Bible campaign. I had a coach telling me one time before a football game, I asked him, "What can I do to serve you? How can I pray for you?" And he said, "Bill, we need Bibles." And so, man, I went and talked to three of our donors, and they underwrote, and we got about 400 Bibles distributed out to coaches and athletes, because that's the truth. The kids were scared. In all honesty, these athletes come up, they think they're all that, but they really had a fear of what was going on in society and also with this disease called COVID. And so we hit them with the truth of God. And so I was very blessed and fortunate. I had donors to underwrite the distribution of those Bibles to the coaches and the athletes.
Well, I know with what we've witnessed over the last year and a half, basically, there are so many things that people really need to do for their own well-being. People need to be together in groups and support each other. And I know that, sadly, something that we've seen is that people who were regular church attenders, now that churches are open, they had gotten pretty accustomed to kind of sitting at home, maybe watching church on TV or through a Zoom or something. Maybe they didn't really do anything to nourish themselves spiritually at all. So what are some of the things that you've seen, and maybe some strategies that ministers can have at their churches to get people to come back if they've gotten too comfortable staying at home?
Well, I think just letting them know the truth that we have the victory through Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians 15:57 says, "Thanks be to God who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ." So God is our protector. And we saw that with FCA. This past summer and the summer before, we had to cancel our big sports camp that we have and hold every summer at Texas A&M. At this camp, we'll have around 1,200 coaches and athletes. Unfortunately, this past summer and the summer before, they were canceled. But we reached out. I heard from coaches saying, "Bill, we need to get together as coaches and as families." So we held a coaches family retreat in College Station at A&M in early July, and we had about 40 coaches and their families were there. So we were able to pour into them, to reach them, to disciple them, to go out and make disciples. And so we're looking at different ways. And as you mentioned earlier, we want this coming school year, hopefully, to be a normal year that we can get in to see the coaches and athletes and attend the huddle meetings. But we emphasize that to the kids, coming to an FCA huddle does not mean you don't go to your church. We want to lead people to active involvement in their local Bible-believing church.
Also, This happens to me from time to time. I had this thought in my head, and the thought seems to have left me. Maybe it'll come back. But what is the way to get in touch with you and with other people involved in Fellowship of Christian Athletes if people want to know more and find out how they can be involved? And maybe while you're answering, I can think of my next point.
I understand where you're coming from. The more I think about something, the thought eventually passes. But to know more about FCA, go to our website, very simple, fca.org. fca.org, and it is loaded with resources, historical information about FCA, huddle meeting tips. So fca.org is a great resource to know and learn more about FCA. To contact me, I serve all the school districts in Fort Bend County, not only Fort Bend ISD, but every school district in Fort Bend County, plus several other districts. So I'm a pretty busy man. I have about 85 campuses that to call on, and so to reach me, the best way is via email, which is bmore@fca.org. bmore@fca.org is the best way to contact me.
Right. B, the initial B, and then MOORE, because, you know, I think too hard about stuff, and I might be thinking be more like BE and then the word MORE. But right. No, it's your initial and your name. And thanks for all you do. And I did happen to think of what I was trying to think of before. When you mentioned your camp, I was also thinking that back in late July and in San Antonio at the Texas High School Coaches Association Convention, you had a wonderful breakfast. I think you said about 500 coaches getting together, and what a relief that is to finally be together again.
Oh, absolutely. And just the relief on the coaches' faces, you could see it. They were gathering. As people, we need fellowship. And boy, it was a blessing to be there amongst all the coaches, other FCA staff. We had a great message from Coach Traylor, who's the head football coach at UTSA, and he gave a very strong testimony. So it was just a welcoming relief, and it's a good way to kick off the football season from having that FCA breakfast.
All right. Bill Moore, thank you so much. Glad you're here doing what you do, making time for us at halftime, and also glad all these people in the stands are here and the players and the coaches, and at least that part of the world, something is right with the world. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. VypeFortBend.com. Halftime continues. Third quarter will start pretty soon when we return.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
We take care of you so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstireauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstireauto.com.
So here we are at halftime, about 4 minutes before we get the game resumed, and the Marshall Band was playing Stevie Wonder's Don't You Worry About a Thing. That makes perfect sense because Buffs fans, you got nothing to worry about. You're leading 49-0 at the half, and let's give you the rundown on all the touchdowns. Chris Marshall scored on a 38-yard touchdown pass from Jacoby Banks. Then Banks ran one in from 38 yards himself. I might have the yardage wrong on one of those. It doesn't matter, I don't think. Does it? Okay. Kevon Misher, he caught the little jailbreak screen and took it 50 yards to the house. Then Chris Marshall, he scored on another long touchdown pass. I think that one was 26 yards maybe. Little fade route over in the right corner of the end zone. Then Adrian Wortham, a 12-yard touchdown run. Aaron McGowan, a 56-yard touchdown run. And Jaden Johnson caught a long touchdown pass of his own. So the Buffs are just simply having their way with the poor Sharpstown Apollos. They're just going to try to get through this game. And this is going to be a great opportunity for players at Marshall who don't get on the field as much as they would like to. They practice hard every single day, and they're going to get on the field. I see Jordan Davis, the backup quarterback, who is playing catch with Terrence Fontenot. So I think there's a very good chance we'll see Jordan behind the center when the Buffs get the ball. They have not had to punt at all during the first half of play. They have gotten a blocked punt, which they were able to turn into that quick 12-yard, one-play touchdown drive where Adrian Wortham, I took off the Jai. Adrian Wortham ran it in from 12 yards out. So now the clock is at about 2 minutes left, and I know that we are going to have a Buffs broadcast when they play Willow Ridge, so we'll definitely have that game for you. And it seems like that one is at least 2 weeks down the road, maybe 3, not sure, but we will have Willow Ridge against these Marshall Buffs, and I fully expect that the Marshall Buffs will be undefeated by then. And the Willow Ridge Eagles, I guess I need to check on the scores, but they were kind of locked up in a fairly tough game last night, but I believe they did pull it out. In fact, that's what I'm going to do after I take this quick break. We'll be back after this from Vype, 49-0. Marshall against Sharpstown in the second half will start soon, and I don't think it's going to last very long. You're going to run the clock and mercifully end this game a little bit early, kind of like a TKO in boxing. We'll be right back.
Hey high schoolers, are you interested in a career in sports media? Vype can help. Launched in 2017, our Vype U Ambassador Program is a one-of-a-kind educational scholarship program that offers high school students a chance to gain hands-on experience in the sports media field. Vype U also gives students a platform to build their portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's seasoned professionals. From covering games to publishing photos, writing articles, and conducting on-camera interviews, each Vype U ambassador receives an immersive experience geared toward their interests, while promoting their own school and preparing them for their future. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out more about Vype U today.
Okay, we're about to have the second half kickoff, and I'm just going to run through some scores as we go because no play is going to change the outcome of this thing. All right, so the Bush Broncos in the game that we broadcasted for you on Thursday night here at Hall Stadium, they beat the Elkins Knights 10-3 and spoiled the Knights' homecoming 10-3. Bush beats Elkins. The Fulshire Chargers taking on a very tough team. It was the Montgomery Bears, and Montgomery came out on top 52-32. However, the Chargers looking very impressive despite that loss in the first season for Nick Caduti, their new head coach. He's an impressive guy. I think they hired the right person at Fulshire to replace Osler Fleming. Montgomery 52, Fulshire 32. The Peyto Panthers, ranked 9th in the state in Class 5A, beat Milby 56-0. That game probably a lot like this one. And we'll step aside, and I'll give you more scores in a moment. But it is time for Diaz to kick off and begin the second half. They go ahead and run the clock, and I think it says we're going to have 6-minute quarters. Short kickoff, comes down at the 32-yard line, and a return of just 1 yard, and that's it. Jordan Sample with a brutal tackle on the kick returner, Voteen. I don't know if you heard an aluminum can rolling away in the wind. That's mine. I will pick it up. I never, ever litter. And I mean that literally. Not trying to be funny, really. I do not litter. I will never litter, even at a stadium. All right, I found that Willow Ridge score. They beat Houston Austin 24-12, so they remain undefeated in their district games. Foster beat Terry 17-10. Terry hung in there pretty well. Looks like Roan is going to start the second half at quarterback, and he hands it off, and a running play to the left won't get anything. It's no gain as he put it in the hands of Keon Williams. I'm going to go get that can. Hold on. I'm back. That is to say, I'm back, and the Marshall Buffs are crushing the Sharpstown Apollos, just like I'm going to crush this can. Here we go. Now it won't roll away. Second down and 10 to go, and up the middle, the Apollos try to get some rushing yards, and I think they might have picked up 2 on that play. I think it was Roan keeping. I was a little busy with waste management. I believe he pronounces his name Jackie. It's spelled J-A' capital K-I-E. But I'll go with Jackie. No relation to Jackie Childs, the fictitious attorney on Seinfeld. Shadow Creek beat Dawson last night, 45-31. That was a really good game. Travis beat George Ranch in a real nail-biter last night, preserving the win on homecoming night for the Travis Tigers. All right, it's third down and 10. Running left and getting nothing is Keon Williams, and it'll be time for the Apollos to punt. Let me see who got up off the bottom of that pile. It was Caleb Cossey making the tackle for your Buffs. And who gets a chance to return the punt now? It'll be Donovan Jackson. And the clock is already down to 3 minutes left here in quarter number 3. They're letting the clock run as the Buffs are winning easily 49-0. By the way, the Travis Tigers got 4 interceptions last night against George Ranch, and the last one by Akinlabi, Israel Akinlabi, preserved the victory. He had 2 picks in the game. Zamora takes the snap and punts it. It is blocked. It is rolling. 10-yard line inside. Scoop up by the Buffs. Not a scoop. It's a fall down on the ball at the 4-yard line. So the Buffs special teams still playing hard. They don't owe it to somebody to just let them punt. Not at all. And I'm not sure if Mike Patterson blocked the punt. Maybe it was Mike Patterson, but he was certainly the one who fell on it at the 4-yard line. And so, to use a golf analogy, the Buffs are on the lip of the cup. So as they come out, it is not going to be Jacoby Banks. I think he's going to take the rest of the day off. Jordan Davis will get the keys and play quarterback, at least on this possession. As the clock keeps on ticking down, we're under 2 minutes left in the third. Davis has Jared Howard next to him. And that is the jet sweep going left, and great defense by the Apollos. They actually get a tackle for loss. Jason Prosper carrying the football and ends up losing 2 yards back to the 6. And that may be the first play from scrimmage where the Buffs have lost yardage today. Second down and goal from the 6. Davis ready. Fakes the jet sweep. Up the middle. Touchdown. Untouched. Jared Howard, the sophomore running back. You know, Xfinity is the future of awesome. We think Jared Howard has an awesome future. And he goes in from 6 yards out. And that breaks 50 for the Marshall Buffs. 55-0 with Diaz to come on and kick the extra point. And if Miguel hits it, let's see. That, I believe, is the 8th touchdown of the day. And and he's been successful on every single extra point kick. So he is 45 for 52 on the year. Yes, he is. Okay, our new score is 56-0, and we'll be out of third quarter when we come back on VypeFortBend.com.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
First Siren Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firsttireauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Siren Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firsttireauto.com.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, Office Max, and OfficeDepot.com.
After the kickoff and a short gain, Sharpstown running the ball to the left and a loss of 2 yards. As they give it to Keon Williams. It'll bring up a 3rd and 11. One of the Buffs gets up. Looks like he's hurting. Maybe it's a cramp. Hopefully that's all it is. Jacoby Edmonds was in on the tackle, but I think one of his legs is cramping up on him. There's nothing funny about that. He's going to hobble over to the sideline, and Jordan Sample will come in to replace him. So we're in the 4th quarter. And in just over 3 minutes, this game will be over. And I mean literally 3 minutes, because they're not stopping the clock for anything. Jackie Roan takes the snap, runs right. He's a pretty good specimen. Tall fella, very strong, and he does pick up 4 right there. Taking it to the 34-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 7. And Sharpstown, I believe, is going to punt it away, but they got to protect that punter, Zamora. The last time they punted, it was blocked. Now it's Donovan Jackson going back to return the punt. since we got some time to kill, I was going to point out something I learned on High School Scoreboard Live last night. What's going to happen next? Okay, here's Zamora ready to punt. Accurate snap. Gets it up in the air. Wobbly spiral. And the ball is touched by the Buffs. It's loose on the field. It's a muff, but the Buffs somehow recover it. Going back there to get it was Mike Patterson to save the possession. Anyway, so there's this receiver from Frisco Liberty. His first name is Evan. Evidently, he's the best high school senior receiver in the country, and he's got 30 offers or so and very much in demand. So his Liberty team prior to last night's game was 5-0 on the season. He decided, you know what, I'm done. He's not going to play the rest of the season. Evan, whatever his name is, this great receiver, has just bailed on his teammates at Frisco Liberty. And by the way, they lost last night 43-7 to the Frisco Raccoons, the original team in Frisco ISD. 43-7, the original Frisco High beat them. So Frisco Liberty, it's really tough to take when you got a guy that commits to the team, goes through preseason workouts, gets ready for all the games, plays 5 of them and says, I'm out of here. And that's what happened. Don't like to see that kind of thing happen. Jet sweep by these Buffs after the punt. Desmond Douglas carrying it to the left, running for the first down stick, tumbles out of bounds. I think he got there, and that may very well be the final play of the game because the scoreboard clock says 28 seconds. It's still ticking. I think the Buffs want to run one more play. They have it at their own 36. Jordan Davis at quarterback in relief of Jacoby Banks. He's going to run it to the right, gets to the 40, keeps on going, 50, got a hand on a blocker out in front of him, and he's wrestled out at the 4-yard line, or 40-yard line, I should say, of Sharpstown, and that will be the final play of the game. Listen. Yep, that siren means that we are done. Our final score, Marshall 56 and Sharpstown nothing. Today's VypeFortBend.com broadcast of Marshall Buffs football has been brought to you by Xfinity, the future of awesome, and by First Tire and Automotive. Make sure your vehicles are in shape for October. First Tire and Automotive has 4 great locations, including First Colony, Greatwood, Eldridge Road in Sugar Land, and Katy Cinco Ranch. They're all open Monday through Saturday. For the best prices on tires, go to firsttireandauto.com. By Nick's Italian Restaurant on FM 1464 in Sugar Land, just a few hundred feet north of Austin High School. At Nick's Italian Restaurant, their family gets bigger every time you stop by. By Archer Volkswagen on the southbound side of Highway 59, just inside the Sam Houston Tollway, open since 1956 and ready to serve you. You'll feel like family at Archer Volkswagen, where, by the way, it has never been a better time to sell a car to a dealer than right now. They'll give you top dollar. Just keep that in mind. We're also brought to you by the Needville Insurance Agency. Bradley Stavanaugh and his team are your hometown trusted agents. Call 979-793-7411 or visit needvilleinsurance.com. At Office Depot in Sugar Land, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace, taking care of business every day so VypeFortBend.com can bring you Fort Bend County sports every week. Our final score, it's a runaway win, 56-0. Marshall over Sharpstown. For my wonderful producer, Nathaniel Nunez, and everybody on the Vype team, thank you so much for listening. Remember, you can always listen live or later on the podcast at VypeFortBend.com. And tonight at 6 o'clock, to make that 5:45 with the Countdown to Kickoff show, we'll have Eisenhower taking on the Angleton Wildcats, who are 5-0 on the season. Good afternoon, everybody.